Howdy, I'm Hasu, captain of the Atlas Horde, and today we're going to be talking about
Persona 5, Tactica.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about the DLC, Repaint Your Heart. It's a game. It's a DLC that I paid for. Should you buy it? No. It's not good. Definably, it is... Ooh, not worth the amount of money. Honestly, I would rather just have more random cosmetic DLC for characters and or personas. That would have been a much better deal than what I got playing this game. I played it twice now. Steam and PlayStation. PlayStation for stream purposes. Hey, guess what? We have it on the channel. Or for this very video that you're seeing this footage on my Steam Deck. So, hey, that was fun. It actually is pretty fun, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting some good use out of my Steam Deck, which is very nice. And it also helps with the recording footage, so one I can use for streaming and then the other I can use for recording purposes. Hey, double tax write-off. You love to see it. Also, so you guys can still see the trophies rather than me replaying the game and you guys get nothing out of it. And also we get to see the Steam trophy pop-up achievements, which is definably, infinitely, legitimately much more interesting to talk about than Repaint Your Heart. Mainly because Repaint Your Heart is...
Oh, shut up. Why do you leave the TV on?
Boring. It's like 4 hours of nothing. You get small little minute details of the royal trio, which is Joker, Akakchi, and Katsumi. That's the bitch trio. Normal Joker, dope as fuck. Royal Joker, bitch fugly. It's additive, reminiscent of Tactica. This doesn't feel as prominent as the actual game, mainly because Guernica and fuck, I don't remember her sister's name. Mouse Girl, whatever. Barely remember most of that DLC. And which is funny because I played it back to back. I knew the DLC was trash. So, hey, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to hit monetization by January 1st, 2025. Now, let's continue on with this trudge of a DLC. Game begins. Joker is chilling, listening to the TV for news or whatever. Katsumi calls Joker for some bitch-ass reason, which isn't even accurate enough because her phone is constantly fucky, so it's very rare for her to call him. Usually it's text more than anything. But sure, don't worry about it. This isn't the first mistake they make with the royal canon. We get dumped into the streets, Splatoon style. You have to do a combat tutorial section as Joker, which honestly, I don't really like the gameplay. The entire game is based on strategy. It essentially renders all of the cover fucking useless. Why? Because you can just splatter paint everywhere and it'll just act as if they're not in cover even though they're right next to it because the splatter is your color. So therefore, they'll just get insta-crit down, which doesn't really matter. It really makes no difference, adds nothing to the gameplay. It's like, oh yeah, it's something different, but it's still the same, just easier than before. Now that's really all there is to it, because you could just hit somebody, it creates some splatter. Much like the base game, you could just use another character to hit them, get the crit, pile the one mores on until you can get a triple threat. If you're playing the DLC first and then you do the base game, okay, it might be challenging for you because you don't really know the mechanics of the game and you don't really know everything yet. However, if you do the base game first and then you do the DLC the way I did, it's literally just the same thing but with paint. Nothing noteworthy. Guess what? The narrative's the same. It carries really no weight at all, other than I guess kinda sets up the base game, because the villain is a fucking flamingo bitch bird, whatever. I forgot her name. She's just discount Salmonella from the base game. Characters all pretty much, oh, hey, are dumb as fuck, by the way. Oh, blah, 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 this. Character already said that, and they don't figure out until like 2-3 battles later sometimes. Or maybe the battle after, or it's very odd, very dumb, and very inconsistent compared to the base game, which is just P5 Tactica. I don't know what the hell happened. Whatever DLC writing felt hobbled and mashed together and makes no sense whatsoever. Canonically and narratively, just carries no weight. It's just preamble to the big bitch base story, which it's just the same thing but just a speedrun version of it. And I don't really care for Guernica, I don't care for the sister, and I don't care for the pink flamingo bitch bird. None of it matters. None of it's entertaining. I don't care about the royal trio, so all of their dialogue meant nothing to me. But narratively speaking, she knows information she shouldn't have until the third semester, which is the additional palace. So I am not certain. We are informed that it takes place during Sai's palace, but I don't think they paid attention, or I think they just speed ran a lore dump on Royal and were like, oh, okay. They got information on Katsumi, and they just threw all that information earlier in her timeline. Then she should have known that information. I don't know, because the reveal doesn't happen until the third semester, but she speaks about the information as she already knows it. But I guess because she's Katsumi and not Sumikuk, my brain just doesn't understand. So I'm assuming they think about it from her perspective, maybe? But even then, that still doesn't really make sense, because even the brainwashed Sumire doesn't understand that, or she thinks she's Kasumi, but she doesn't have the same memory that her original self does, which is revealed in the third semester in the palace. So her having that information doesn't make sense. So essentially they were inaccurate to the source material of the, well, Royal anyway, whereas the base game was actually fairly faithful with a lot of information, but that's probably because they had more time, right, to obviously write. And then I guess somebody told them, hey, Sega probably was, hey, make a DLC. It's like, oh, what? Yeah, make a Royal DLC, because everybody loves the Royal trio, so give them a DLC for it. Honestly, would gladly give my money back. I don't use the DLC characters anyway, I just do it to support the company. So you gotta give them their money. Would I have preferred never to have played it? Yes. And I do dare say, unless you're a super fan like me, then play it. I'm a fan of Atlas, so I played it and bought it because I want to help the developers. So if you wanted to do the same thing, it's fascinating how 4 hours could feel like the longest print sentence I've ever experienced in my life. And yet the base game was fun. It was actually felt more challenging than the actual DLC. But that's probably because I actually learned how to play the game and was learning as I was progressing. However, also, the DLC doesn't have any additional requirements. There's no awards to give. There's no defeat enemies within blood, make sure nobody dies. The only way there are any challenges is the DLC challenges. You don't get until after you beat the game and the DLC. But on PlayStation, I beat the base game and then the DLC, and then I also got the challenges, so I have to wait now, which is infinitely more fun than Repaint Your Heart in its entirety. There's actual challenge, there's actual prerequisites. It's very fun. Those 5 challenges, I spent a fifth of the amount of time. It took me like maybe an hour, and it felt more fun, and I actually retried more than Repaint Your Heart. Repaint Your Heart is like, just play the game, don't worry about anything. But then the actual challenges, I had to restart a couple times. I was like, damn, okay, I'm stuck now. Okay, reset, or figure this out a bit, and then reset. And usually none of them took me more than 3 times. Maybe the final one took me 5 retries, but that was it. And I did it with no guide, by the way, just so y'all are aware. So yeah, right, Guernica, evil, mad bitch, mad at society, politicians, and or certain rich people because her sister died in the streets because they were starving homeless children. And then she's just mad, hormonal. It was that time of the month. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, she was on her period. That's why she was so angry and aggressive. I'm kidding. For legal reasons, that's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Flamingo bird bitch was exacerbating her aggressive emotions. Essentially, yay, be a conduit by which I do shit, because then we just fight Flamingo Bird Bitch, which is just discount P5 Tactica base final boss. It's somewhat similar, but it's actually more arduous because of the gimmick for the boss fight. Is there anything I liked about it? Nope. Repetitive, redundant. Oh, right, yeah, the entire plot was pick up these three fucking tile pieces that is of our picture that we drew as children to make sister remember, which is didn't really matter because you fought her like 4 or 5 times anyway, because then it tries to make you care about her by, oh my gosh, she's angry and aggressive and she's having a mental breakdown, kind of, but not really. The villain influencing her. Literally the first time you even fight her, you only get to have damage, and I was like, damn, that took me like fucking 10 seconds. And it wasn't oh damn, it was tough. It was like, damn, I fucking beat her ass that fast, but it was scripted. Oh my gosh, she's so tough. It's like, no, not really. That bitch blasted her to oblivion. I was like, oh damn, if I had one more turn, I would have killed her. Half damage, and then all right, cutscene. We run away because apparently we suck. and we're not strong enough. But then we just do a bunch of random shit. We leave, we run and hide. We get saved by the sister. Well, I mean, mental cognition of Guernica's sister. Then we gotta go grab the tablets and then combine them and give her hope again of some sort, and it'll help her remember, blah, 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 because all the power of her memories are stored in those tablets. Blah, blah. Yeah, sure. Who cares? And then you fight the bitch boss, and then that's the only time you actually get to play with Guernica. Not really. She's an auto character, which is randomized as well, so the path she makes in the sections with the final boss are fucking stupid. On my stream, it worked perfectly fine. I don't know what it was, but Steam was like, all right, we're gonna go over here, go over there, go over there, over here, over there, over there. Woman, you are making this harder than it actually needed to be. That made her boss fight relatively trudgy, arduous, strenuous. And then it ends with Toshiro seeing the news report on TV, which I guess also, I suppose, inspired him, even though he did note in the base game, he saw the calling card, and defeating Shido gave him some inspiration to actually deal with his situation. But I guess also a precursor to the inciting incident, which was Shido. The incident with Guernica was also, alright, that was the seed that would eventually be blossomed through Shido's events, I guess, sure. But that's royal timeline, whatever, who cares? Yeah. Repaint Your Heart's a mess, I'm not gonna lie. And also it's funny because the DLC spoils some things if you play the DLC first, because it has a list of the full legitimate credits, so you'll see the actual game's credits with the original characters and Toshiro, Arena, and the final boss, by the way, just so you're aware. Also the DLC shit, so it's kind of weird. Because regardless, you're like, what the, who's that? Ugh, I just wanted to do this before I actually got to legitimate Persona 5 Tactica content, because this is the weakest DLC narrative serving we've ever been given in any Persona game. And I say that, and freaking P3 dancing and P5 dancing exist. I would still say Repaint Your Heart is worse than that, because it just uses a lot of tropes of characterization to just force you to care about these characters. Poor, starving, homeless. It's just emotional manipulation, right? To make you care about the characters. And does it do it well? Does it expand on any character? Does it do a good enough job of illustrating? No. It gives no character depth for anything because it doesn't matter. It's just a small little jaunt in this streets full of fucking paint. With that being said, I have been Hasu, captain of the Atlas Hordem. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, however you choose to spend it. Until then. いただきます。